I told you should get a salad.
I like
this
my
is
soup.
corn
It's
and
quite
peas salad, and she's having
the beetroot.
beetroot and macaroni.
Yeah, no
Italian
macaroni in
style.
it, but I'm not complaining. I love it.
Suchi says she's not dieting, but then I heard her say no ice, no sugar, no cheese,
Pasta.
no pasta. Yeah. So then that's her style of dieting. And tell me, Suchi, you worked with Coffee with Suchi for about a whole contract, and you lasted that.
Yeah.
What has been the most favorite moment during that stint?
It was actually not very novel. It was a takeoff on another property that was owned by the channel already. All 13 episodes that I did were interesting in their own way. I think the one with Mr. Balamurali Krishna was really interesting.
Why?
Because he was like this overgrown child, and you don't expect a veteran Carnatic musician to be like that. And well, much later I learned from other people that within the Carnatic circle he really is an overgrown, pampered child. But, he was talking about the fact that he loves gambling, and he was a bit of a flirt on the show. And
on the show,
after a point of time, he actually put up his feet and folded his feet, and he was yakking away, literally like a baby. And he's got that baby grin, always on his face.
Do you miss comparing?
No, Radhika, no.
I expected an
actually, no.
That's why people call you unpredictable.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because it wasn't like radio. Radio is so much more spontaneous. I just walk into work, and it's just me and the mic, and I'm alone in the studio, and I feel like my listener is sitting right there, and I'm talking to that person, and there are hardly any walls.
Ironically, you have people right in front of you when you do a show like that, and you still think there are walls.
Where? No, for me, in comparing, there are a lot of do's and don'ts, and a lot of, even starting with makeup and your camera angles and things that you need to be conscious about. While I did it, once, of course, the camera is rolling, you lose yourself and you're in the moment. But when I saw myself on television later, I felt that, at some point of time, it wasn't really the real me. I felt I was being more of the real me on radio than I was as an anchor on television.
Am I seeing more than what you're saying? Am I also trying to read that someone like you who there are reports that you're extremely honest and you love to ask a question to the extent, as personal as did you have an affair with them?
Yeah.
Do you also think that our Tamil industry, for instance, where you've been meeting with so many actors, actresses, are not yet ready for a more transparent, honest show?
They're definitely not, Radhika. Not yet. Because even when I was doing Coffee with Suchi, it used to come with a lot of saying, okay, don't ask her about this. In fact, I enjoyed the later show that I did on EPISODE-9, which was a 1-hour live show where I could actually ask. It's live. I mean, I ask you a question and you either answer it or you say, don't ask me that question, but it's all there on camera and for everybody to see.
How much of criticism can today's actor or actress take? I mean, you're part of the industry now.
Actually, none at all. Nobody can take criticism. None of them. Everybody is sensitive.
That's of course the nature of anyone.
Of a creative ego, especially, that it's difficult to take criticism. Though all of them will tell you, if it comes from the right people, we don't mind taking it. It nicks everyone. Criticism is sharp, but especially coming from an anchor who doesn't even know your work. It's so easy for me to turn around if you ask me a question saying, why? Suppose you're an actor and I'm interviewing you. You can always. I'm asking, saying, why did you do that in that scene? You're like, dude, were you there on the set when it happened? Do you know the circumstances in which that scene was shot or that shot was taken? You have no right to ask me that. It's easy to come back with something like that. So it's a vicious circle, where do you stop asking critical questions and where does one start answering them?
Right. Okay, you're wearing too many hats at the moment now. And
actually just two. I'm just a singer and RJ.
But you've worn at least, you know what it means to be a compere and so many other things about writing.
Yeah.
And obviously there is a more deeper Suchi, because you're writing, I see your articles on a leading newspaper which talks a lot about relationships,
Yeah.
which talks a lot about, a lot of different things which Chennai is perhaps, or is Chennai ready for things like that?
Funnily, the people who are reading it are all quite ready for it. And I think the people who are not don't even understand it.
And so
I'm safe. Yeah. I'm quite safe. I think the people who read it relate to it a lot. I find a lot of people whom I wouldn't, funnily, ironic to what I just said, whom I wouldn't think would be my audience, also echoing my thoughts, saying, we've been through that and we thought about the same thing, and I'm glad you're putting it out there with a nice pinch of humor, so it's not too serious.
What do you think you're then master at if you're doing so many things? What do you think you're best at?
See, like
what
my
do you
husband,
think you're good at and what you're not good at?
See, voice is one thing that I was of course born with, so and now I'm trying to groom a little singing, yeah. But otherwise, what has helped me through my career at O&M or SIFI or Radio Mirchi or the various stations, and which is in direct relation to my radio job right now, is which my husband keeps telling me, there's a very basic, raw kind of a common sense that I have, which gets articulated well somehow, So, and and my boss always used to, my boss at O&M, Krishna Mohan, always used to tell me that there is a fearlessness about you, which, I hope doesn't get you into trouble, but, helps you grow. So luckily for me, it's done the latter. Though once or twice, the former has also happened.
All right. More such simple talk with Suchi to know more about what she is indeed. We'll come back right after this break.